Every night, the new maids had to stand barefoot on a floor covered in ice spikes, completely still. And they had to hold a banana in their mouths the entire time. If anyone gave out or bit through that banana peel from the pain, the butler would drag them out and beat them to death on the spot. Sweat and tears were pouring down my face, soaking straight through my clothes. The pain shooting through my feet was unbearable, and one by one girls were breaking down, screaming as they got dragged away. But me? I held that banana in my mouth all the way until dawn. I stood out, and I was the one they chose. That same night, I was sent to Shen Moken's room, because Gu Wanning had just been confirmed pregnant. She was in no condition to attend to Shen Moken, so they needed one of us maids to warm his bed. A few months later, Gu Wanning gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, and I found out I was 2 months pregnant myself. For the first time, life actually felt like it had a future. When Shen Moken came to find me, I was bursting with excitement to tell him the news. But before I could get a word out, one of his men tripped me into the water. As I struggled, I caught the look in Shen Moken's eyes. Pure, cold-blooded intent to kill. My wife has given me her whole heart. There's no way I'm letting some maid take her place. The grip got tighter and tighter, until I was drowned right there in that pool. And those two? They went right back to being the perfect loving couple. The talk of the whole capital. Me and my unborn baby. We died for nothing. But when I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn. Back to before Gu Wanning handed me over to Shen Moken. This time, I was going to rewrite my fate. I knew Xiao Jingxi had been widowed and never remarried, so I made up my mind to find a way into his bed. Go from maid to stepmother, and make them call me madam with a smile. Not long after Gu Wanning was confirmed pregnant by the royal physician, Shen Moken rushed back, and as he passed by me, his eyes lingered on me for a moment, that sticky, creepy kind of stare. Not long after, giggles and sweet whispers drifted out from inside the room, heard from a distance. What a perfect couple, right? But the second Shen Moken left, Gu Wanning's personal maid Liu Kui started running her mouth. Look at you. The moment he's gone, your true colors come right out. What decent girl struts around like that every single day, practically popping out of her clothes, and have you no shame? That figure of yours. Even the girls at the brothel can't out-seduce you. Disgusting. Inside, Gu Wanning sighed and told her to watch her mouth, then called me in. I knelt on the floor with my head down while Gu Wanning looked me over for a good long while. Then she smiled sweetly and said, My, Su Ning Shuang, you really are a lucky girl, aren't you? Lucky? I want no part of that kind of luck. Last time she said those exact words, I ended up as Shen Moken's bed warmer. And drowning? Not something I ever want to feel again. Not a chance. After Gu Wanning got pregnant, Shen Moken came to see her every single day, but every time his eyes would drift straight over to me. Sometimes it was my face, sometimes it was my chest, sometimes it was my waist. That look made my skin crawl every single time. You could tell he was more than satisfied with how I looked. And every single time, Liu Kui would shoot me the dirtiest glare. The moment he left, she'd spit out, shameless little fox. And Gu Wanning, she'd smile all graciously, but her eyes were dead cold. Last life. How was I naive enough to think Gu Wanning was actually a kind soul who didn't care about my existence? Behind that smile was a very real desire to see me dead. I couldn't keep going like this. In 2 more days, Shen Moken was going to drag me into his room. But as a maid, my contract was still in Gu Wanning's hands. Breaking free from her control felt nearly impossible. Right then, an excited voice rang out from outside. My lady! The Duke won the battle! He'll be returning to the capital tomorrow. What? Thank heavens, he's finally coming back! I clenched my fingers tight, and suddenly I had an idea. Xiao Jingxi was Shen Moken's adoptive father, only 32 years old, and he had never remarried. Not even a concubine in his household. If I became his woman, no one could mess with me anymore. Not even Gu Wanning or Shen Moken. Nobody outranks the Duke. And on top of that, Shen Moken wasn't even his biological son. Shen Moken's real father was one of Xiao Jingxi's soldiers, served under him for years, then died in battle. His mother couldn't handle the news and passed away too. Shen Moken was just a little kid at the time. With no one to care for him, Xiao Jingxi brought him home and adopted him as his own son. All these years, he was the only young master in the Duke's entire household. Gu Wanning was thrilled to hear the Duke was coming back. She deeply respected her father-in-law. First thing the next morning, she had Liu Kui help her get all dolled up. My lady, now that you're with child, the Duke is going to be absolutely overjoyed. Once you give him a healthy little grandson, he might even petition the palace to officially name the young master as heir. Gu Wanning's smile grew even wider as she gently rubbed her belly, full of anticipation. I stood nearby with my eyes down, not saying a word. Too bad she was in for a real disappointment. Last time around, Xiao Jingxi came straight back and headed right to a palace banquet. Gu Wanning waited until dark. He never showed. But that actually worked out perfectly for me. Gu Wanning couldn't stand the sight of me, so she dismissed me pretty fast. I headed straight back to my room and pulled out every coin I'd saved over the years, then quietly bribed the right people. I finally found out which exact route the Duke would take back. When night fell, I grabbed a lantern and posted myself right on the path he had to take. My clothes were paper thin. When the wind hit, I couldn't stop shivering. My heart was pounding too. This man held serious power. I'd heard plenty of noble women in the capital wanted to marry him, and even more had tried to sneak into his bed. But he wanted nothing to do with women, and every single one of those girls got flogged. Then sold off by a slave trader and kicked out of the estate. The more I thought about it, the more terrified I got. My hands and legs started going weak. But finally I said, forget it. If this doesn't work tonight, tomorrow Shen Moken takes me. And I'm dead either way down the road. Might as well take the shot. Even if I get sold off and at least outside this estate, maybe I can find a way to survive. I waited about half an hour before someone finally came walking up ahead. In the moonlight, I could make out a man, looked to be around 30, built like an absolute tank, striding straight toward me with total authority. My legs nearly gave out. This guy looked like he could put me down with one punch. This had to be the Duke, and he was alone. I steeled myself, gritted my teeth, and walked straight toward him with my lantern. Then faked a fall, right into his arms. The man was solid as a rock. It actually hurt, enough to bring real tears to my eyes. Xiao Jingxi looked down at me. "Who are you?" I forced myself to stay calm and thought back to every trick I'd ever read about for seducing a man. I bit my lip and looked up at him with watery eyes. "And who are you?" "Stay back." Then I braced myself and started putting on a show, fake struggling with a flushed face. My thin clothes were already doing their job, barely holding things together in the front. Xiao Jingxi kept his gaze locked on me, and it kept getting darker by the second, and his grip around my waist got tighter and tighter. He stared at me for a long moment, then the corner of his mouth curled into a slow smirk. "Gutsy little thing, aren't you, trying to seduce me?" Liu Cui wasn't wrong. I was born to play this role. After spending months with Shen Mochen in my past life, I knew exactly what men wanted. I downed a few cups of peach blossom wine before coming out here. Liquid courage really does work. I looked up at him through hazy, tipsy eyes, and some of that fear just melted away. I played dumb, but let every bit of my charm show, stretched 3 parts drunk into 7. Xiao Jingxi finally showed a flicker of genuine interest, but he didn't take me to his main quarters. Instead, he headed to his private resting place. I barely slept a wink. Before dawn, I was already rushing back to attend to Gu Wanning. When I walked in, I found that Shen Mochen had spent the night there too. Gu Wanning had a rosy glow. The two of them were all over each other, picture-perfect lovers. Ever since Gu Wanning got pregnant, it had been a long time since Shen Mochen stuck around like this. And I clearly noticed, the way Shen Mochen looked at me was even more heated than usual. Whatever happened the night before, the two of them seemed to have made some kind of arrangement. While I was helping Shen Mochen wash up, he accidentally squeezed my hand. That smile of his said everything. I yanked my hand back and turned to see Gu Wanning gripping her handkerchief, staring me down with ice-cold eyes. After Shen Mochen left, she got herself all dressed up to go pay her respects to Xiao Jingxi. She had me carry a scalding hot bowl of chicken soup and come along. The whole way there, the burning heat in my palms was absolute agony. Even as my hands blistered and swelled red, I held that bowl tight. The bowl was an imperial gift. The soup was top shelf. If I dropped any of it, even my life wouldn't be enough to pay for it. Gu Wanning saw my face go pale, saw me stay silent, and her smile got even bigger. She cheerfully told me how lucky I was. Liu Cui shot me a look. "It's just a bowl of soup. Way to act like it's literally killing you. Nobody would even know you're just a maid. You're nothing but a lowly servant. It's only because Our Lady is so kind-hearted that someone like you hasn't already been done away with." I kept my head down and said nothing. But Liu Cui wasn't done. She slapped me across the face. My head snapped to the side, my grip slipped, and soup splashed out, scalding the back of my hand red. My eyes went red from the pain, but I did not drop that bowl. "That's enough!" Ha, I've spoiled Liu Cui rotten. Don't be upset with her. Eyes down. "It's my honor to be corrected by Sister Liu Cui." Gu Wanning looked more and more pleased, saying I was a sensible girl. Liu Cui kept muttering curses under her breath.